Hey, Ramrod 340X coming back at you again. We're going to do our second little review here on what breaks and how to fix it on the Redcat Volcano EPX Pro. Got a couple items here. And this was actually a collision that was pretty violent into a telephone pole. I'll swing the camera around so you can see here. And what we have here is this is your outer axle, which attaches your wheel. And what we've done is we broke all the threads off here. And at the same time, this was the rear lower A-arm. We actually broke right here where the pin goes through. Other thing I was noticing was because of all the flex in the front suspension, right here on your turnbuckle, as you can see, that hole is no longer oval shaped. It's actually worn on both sides, which was weakening it pretty tremendously. And that was the case on both of them. It had to do with the twisting back and forth of the lower suspension arms. And I noticed that the chassis allowed for some flex. So, yeah, and you know, all this stuff's made out of plastic. I mean, plastic's good stuff. Keeps it light. If you're running a brushed car, I'd say it's pretty good for brushed cars. You don't really have to do too much. But you know, when you get into running brushless, and you're talking about the power and speed a brushless has, I'm to the point where I'm just going to get away from plastic if I can. So what we've done here, this is our Redcat Volcano. What I've done is I've taken a Redcat Volcano Nitro car and I pulled the chassis. Got a pretty good deal of it on eBay. What I did is I cut the slot here for the motor, and then I took the original chassis and I put a piece of paper over it and taped it on, and then traced around it and put a little dot where each hole was, right through the hole in the paper. Then took it off, cut it out, taped it on the blue aluminum chassis that's for the Nitro car, and I actually drilled the holes needed to mount the battery and the motor. And what else was needed? Let's see, the battery and the motor, and the steering servo. Other than that, all the screw holes are the same, all the geometry's the same, the drive shaft length's the same, everything else is pretty much the same, so it'll all bolt together real nicely. In doing this, I also replaced with, got a little contrast color here. We went with the purple anodized front and rear lower suspension arms, or A-arms, or whatever you want to call them. We also went with the turnbuckle in aluminum. We also went with the outer hub in aluminum, both sides. And if you look in my other video, you'll see that I had the hubs for the rear in aluminum already, and I just went ahead and installed those. And as you can see, I have also installed, well, you might not be on the front, you'll be able to tell on the back, I put the universal dog bones in it, and also mounted the ESC up here on the top. Got everything up out of the way. Everything cools nicely. I showed you in my last video on how to make your suspension bottom out, which is what you want to happen to keep the stress off of things. But I'm to the point now where I'm having trouble breaking it. We're launching some pretty big jumps and hitting as hard as we possibly can. The other day when it was 5 degrees outside, I did shatter this wheel. and I mean shattered it. These 3 spokes here were completely gone. This spoke, and this spoke were not attached. It was just this spoke holding it, and that spoke alone. And what I've done is I've got some. This is a putty material. It's an epoxy. It's kind of like JB Weld PC7. It's an automotive grade stuff, and I just kind of reformed the wheel because, like I said, these spokes, they were gone clear into here and clear out to here. So what I've done is form them all in, tried to shape them the best I could. Then if you look here in the back, I ran the stuff all the way around in the back, trying to make everything form in there as best as I could to strengthen it up. And I've beaten the living snot out of it, and it seems to be holding up real nice. Another thing, however fast this thing will go with brushless with a 5,000 milliamp an hour battery, head on into a parking curb. I actually broke the front bumper clean in half. This piece wasn't attached to this piece, and it also cracked it down through here. I took that awesome shoe goo that I talked about in my first one, and I actually filled the lower bottom down in there with it. Put a couple pieces of tape over here on the side so I could build it up on both sides. And it has flex, real sticky stuff when it's wet, so it'll stick to anything. And it worked out nice because I've beat that bumper pretty good since then, and it all seems to be holding up. The other thing I talked about in the last one was the body. I told you how I exploded the front of the body, and that's what all these cracks were from, and how I put box tape on the body to straighten that up. Well, let me show you some things. If you look, there's a crack here, and if you actually look, this is a missing spot of the body. We couldn't find it. So like I said, we put the box tape across, and when we got everything glued together, I just went ahead and ran glue on the box tape, and when it dried, it left a nice place there where there's new kind of body, I guess. And I'll probably take some blue paint and color that back in. If you look at the top of this body here, I don't know if it'll show up if you can see the cracks in it or not. There's a lot of cracks. Right here is actually a completely missing part, and right here is a completely missing part. I actually colored those in with a marker. If I hold it to the light, you'll be able to tell. There you can see the complete missing places, but you take it away from the light, and it doesn't look too awful bad. You can see here, there you can see where it's shattered. I beat this body up so bad the bed wasn't even on it. It was completely gone. And I color all the cracks in with black so that the light really doesn't show through and people don't notice it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I fix a body. Use box tape, fit the pieces in where they go. Because it's box tape, you can pull them out and put them back in and get them straight as you want. And once you get them in there real nice and good, you spread that shoe goo on it and let it dry. And once it's dry, you peel the box tape off. Body's not quite as good as new, but it's all back together and usable. Saves on buying bodies, because, you know, $20 a pop on a body and you can run it one time and destroy it. You need to have a way to fix them. But I can tell you this. When you replace all these parts with these aluminum ones, you really cannot hurt this truck. Other than maybe the wheels when it's like 5 degrees outside. And my guess is it was just so cold that the wheel couldn't take the flex at all and just kind of trashed it out. Of course, you know, it's winter here right now. But yeah, I mean, that might be my end review on this truck. I haven't lipoed it yet, so I'll probably get the chance to lipo it sometime this week. We're supposed to have some decent weather. If I can get it all lipoed up, I don't know, maybe I can film a little action and maybe some bashing on it, and then you can be the judge on how strong they are in aluminum. And truthfully, you know, a lot of these plastic parts are really cheap, but if you have to buy them 5, 6, 7 times, you know, it's well worth it to buy them in aluminum. This aluminum stuff is way cheaper in the long run than you think it is. So that's pretty much it for now. I'll be sure to keep y'all updated if there's anything else I run across that I want to let y'all know about. So far we're having fun with this one. I mean, I didn't really need to replace everything that I did replace because there was things I replaced that hadn't broken at all yet. But, you know, sometimes you just want to be able to go out and beat the living tar out of something without replacing any parts, and we are definitely to that point. Today I ran a couple of packs out of it, and I was literally trying to break it. I was launching it off of things and making sure that my landings were terrible, trying to get something to bust. And everything held up nice. I mean, real nice. So, but like I said, when we lipo it, I'm going to go out and see if I can't break it again, and, you know, it'd be kind of neat to see some carnage on some aluminum parts. Maybe I could bash it hard enough to break something aluminum, but we'll give it a shot and get back with y'all. But, yeah, this is Ramrod 340X. If you have any questions, I might have answers. So let me know, and y'all have fun.